If you're thinking about building a website in HubSpot, then this video is for you. I'm going to walk you through a 6-step process which will tell you exactly how to build a website inside of HubSpot. Note, I'm not exactly going to show you how to develop your own website in HubSpot, but more outline the steps that you absolutely need to go on in order to create an effective website inside of HubSpot. So we're going to cover selecting your HubSpot Content Hub subscription level, what you need to look at there, how to actually set up your HubSpot portal and get it prepared in order to have your website on it, building your website and populating it and the approaches you can take there, populating your blog content, testing your website in HubSpot, and ultimately launching it. The first thing to consider when building a website in HubSpot is HubSpot itself. What actual package do you need? Which software do you need in place in order to build and run your website inside of HubSpot? So if we now have a look at the pricing page inside of HubSpot, now this is always changing, but what you do need for sure is Content Hub. Content Hub is the product that gives you access to HubSpot CMS. So in order to actually create your website and host it on HubSpot, you need Content Hub. Now, what you do need to choose is the package level for you. So Content Hub actually goes all the way from free to enterprise, and depending on your level of needs, each package will suit you differently. Without going through each tier feature one by one, I just want to give you a quick kind of rule of thumb and overview of each tier and which one you should probably go for depending on your business's stage and your requirements ultimately. So HubSpot Content Hub Free is, as it says on the tin, it's completely free. And this tier is totally aimed at startups and individuals dipping their toes into digital marketing ultimately and wanting to create their own website to grow their business from where it is right now. As you'd expect from a free platform, there are quite a lot of restrictions in this tier that limit technical functionality and front-end appearance and the overall size of the website that you can create. But it's still a great choice for individuals. HubSpot Content Hub Starter is the ideal choice for really small businesses and startups working with a very slim budget who seek more flexibility and customizability than the free platform. And this allows a bit more creative freedom when it comes to customizing the appearance of your website and helps you align it to your brand. And it also offers some AI tools too that aren't accessible in the free tier. HubSpot Content Hub Professional is the sweet spot for a lot of mid-market businesses. So this provides all of the necessary functionality that most businesses require on their website. And the pricing of HubSpot Content Hub Pro also reflects this. It's ideal for small to medium enterprise businesses looking for the balance between the flexibility and functionality you get of Content Hub, all the features in it that allow you to extend the website in whatever way you like, and the affordability of it too. HubSpot Content Hub's premium level tier, Enterprise, really offers everything you could ever want from a website platform. Of course, you get all of the great functionality already from Content Hub Pro, plus some additional features like serverless functions, membership area, content partitioning that would usually require really expensive third-party platforms or bespoke solutions to create, but you get them right inside of HubSpot itself. The second step is your HubSpot portal setup and preparation. Now, this will look slightly different depending on if you're already using HubSpot for your marketing automation or CRM and sales tools, or if you're completely new to the platform and have all of the setup to do. So things like CRM setup is really important at this stage. So understanding how you want the data to flow from your website to your CRM and what that looks like actually in action and in practice. For example, here you can see this is actually our own workflow, which looks at high intent form submissions. So people actually reaching out and asking about our services and what we do with that action and that information afterwards. So, for example, we're looking for the trigger here to see if somebody has filled out a form. We're setting a date because we want to use that for reporting. We're then waiting a bit of time. We're then, we've got a if-then statement going on to see if they've already booked a meeting with us or not. All of this needs to be thought about in order to make sure the data from your website flows as good as possible and as seamlessly as possible into your CRM, meaning it can be actioned by salespeople. It means that information is truly accessible to them in all of the right ways, and just ensuring that your website and CRM are talking to each other in the best way possible. By proactively mapping out how your website flows into your CRM, and all of this in advance of actually moving your website and having it fully propagated on HubSpot, you can ensure a completely smooth transition and efficient handling of leads that are generated through your website. Your sales team will absolutely thank you for this later. Of course, to use HubSpot as your website platform, you need to connect your domain. And this can all be done before you actually build or launch your website inside of HubSpot. And it's really useful to do it too. So all you need to do is head over to your settings, head into domains and URLs here. You can see I'm actually in our portal right now, and you can see we've got quite a lot of domains. And what you can do is connect your domain here. You'll get a few options. So you've got primary domain, which is like your main website page domain. It's going to be the right one for most people. Secondary domains are things for microsites a lot of the time, so like customer.domain.com. Redirect domains are quite useful if you've got like an old historic brand or you've merged and you need to redirect a completely different domain URLs to your new website URLs. And then you've got email sending domain, which speaks for itself. So let's just quickly show you this process. Missed out a step there, which was the CDN. So let me just go back and show you that, because this is important too. Most businesses will want to use HubSpot's built-in CDN. Unless you're a huge enterprise business that really wants to manage your own proxy, you probably don't. So just hit connect here and use HubSpot's own CDN, which has a huge load of benefits in managing that infrastructure for you. Then enter the brand domain that you want to connect to. Then you'll choose the content type there. It might be all of these. Obviously, ours are all taken by now. And then you'll go through the process of verifying that, getting your DNS records, and setting it up. So I can kind of show you what that looks like here, because I can show you our DNS records, which are publicly available anyway. And you can see you'll get these DNS records, which you'll eventually be able to swap in your DNS space from your current website IP address or CNAME, wherever that is hosted, to your new HubSpot ones here. And it will also let you verify your SSL certificate. So this will come up in a space here saying, please verify your SSL certificate, and then you can add the TXT records before anything is done. You can do that straight away to your DNS space in order to make sure your SSL certificate is already pre-provisioned, ready to go. You'll be safe and secure and good from an SEO and security front. The next step is actually building and populating your website on the HubSpot platform itself. And whilst I'm not going to show you exactly how to do that, because it involves a lot of work when it comes to actually developing it, if you want to go down that route or choosing the right theme for you. But what I am going to break down are the different options available to make this happen. But before we get into that, it's obviously worth saying that as a website agency, I need to do myself a service here and tell you that it'd be most effective to already have your website strategy in place to understand how buyers are going to find your site, how they're going to use it, the information architecture, the user experience, all of those things already mapped out, your website content in place to populate your pages. And if you're going down the route of actually developing and having a bespoke website created just for your brand, you'll need those website designs too. But with all of that in place, you can actually start to build out your website in HubSpot. And depending on the route you choose, this process is quite different. So let's get into all three. So the first option is to actually lift and shift your current website and rebuild it on HubSpot. This is great for if you're already really happy with the design of your website, or you're not so happy, but you're already using HubSpot, you're familiar with the platform, you want the easy editability, you want the integration with the CRM, and you just really want your website inside of HubSpot Content Hub. You can lift and shift it onto the platform. And there's a few ways to go about this. You can either commission the migration to HubSpot themselves. They offer their own migration service for a fixed fee. There are some limitations to bear in mind with that in terms of page count and functionality. Or you can commission a HubSpot website migration partner like ourselves to do this for you. Either approach means that the back-end building will be set up and done for you. So the theme, the templates, the modules, any functionality will all be ready for use. And then it comes down to populating it. So you can either populate that yourself, use an agency if you're going down that route to do it for you, or if you're using HubSpot's migration service, your website pages will be populated as part of the deal. It's worth noting that if you have more complex requirements or you want a more refined editing experience that's more tailored to your brand and is easier to create pages, then you might want to go down the route of using a HubSpot partner who can migrate your site in a really intuitive way and make it quite personal to you. So you'll be able to create website pages using sections in a really flexible, modular way. There are no restrictions, and things will all be created unique to you to help you and your brand create pages and edit your website in the best way possible. If you want to redesign your website and then build it on top of HubSpot, or you already have a website on HubSpot that you're looking to redesign, then there's a couple of options to think about here. The first one being to work with an agency on designing and building your website on top of HubSpot. And if you're thinking about using an agency, then what that gives you is everything being taken care of for you. So the website theme that controls your website, the templates that underpin your pages, the modules that contain your content, any advanced functionality that uses things like HubDB, membership areas, serverless functions, all of that's done for you. Essentially, the entire website is either set up so that either you or the agency like us can populate those pages with ease. It's worth noting that bespoke build doesn't mean hard to edit, and it's really important to understand the agency that you talk to and that you choose, their approach to flexible editing inside of HubSpot, because there are two ends of the spectrum here, which is completely flexible drag and drop that allows you to pull any element into any space inside of HubSpot, which sounds great on the surface, but you actually kind of want some restraint in there, which means your website content editor or your marketers aren't responsible for pulling in modules into the right place and aligning them and setting page viewport width sizes and breakpoints and things like that, because all of a sudden things become very, very quickly out of sync and inconsistent on your website. It doesn't look entirely on brand and it looks quite unprofessional. Then you've got the other end of the spectrum, which is some developers will completely hard code your website and you have nothing to edit. There is a sweet spot which is more closely aligned to the complete flexibility, but it adds in that slight bit of refinement, so you can drag and drop sections which are pre-built for you in order to bring in those modules together, but have all of the predefined styling, the font weights, the sizes, the actual fonts themselves, the viewport widths, the color selections, all in your brand that allow you to build out content and edit it really, really quickly in a refined, on-brand and consistent way. So it's important to just understand that approach before you choose, because it can really help or hinder your approach to using HubSpot as a website platform. If you're looking for a more cost-effective or in-house way to design a new website and build it inside of HubSpot, you either want to look at how you do that in-house with your own resources, which you might have available to you, a designer, a developer that can actually build in that scalable way inside of HubSpot, or you've got the option of marketplace themes, which are a cost-effective way to building inside of HubSpot. So let me just show you how you get there and what you can choose. Inside your HubSpot portal, you'll be able to go to this shopping icon or this little house up here, basically, and go to templates, which will bring you to this page. And you've got themes here, which essentially power websites. And you can search here by the type of business you want or the features within this, whether you want a free option or the lowest price, the top rated, whatever you want here. You can click into the theme, find out a little bit more about it, how it looks, the ratings, the reviews, the features, what's included, and really find the right theme that suits your business. And what this is going to give you is a vetted theme that's gone through, rigorous tests from HubSpot to make sure that the theme is good enough to be served on the marketplace in the first place, and give you a cost-effective way to bring your website onto HubSpot. Of course, with any cheaper option, there are some drawbacks, like you might not have the exact design that's aligned to your brand, your user experience, your true buyer that's going to actually come to your website, explore your offering and convert. It might also have a lot of modules and features that are unnecessary to your website, so it will end up with a lot of bloat on the code base, which can drag down performance and increase page load speed time, which obviously isn't great from an SEO and user experience standpoint. It also might lean a lot more towards the highly flexible end of the website editing experience, which allows you to do a lot with the editor, but requires you to do a lot of the heavy lifting and almost design new pages, which might be absolutely fine for where you are as a business, but it's just important to consider if you want that true complete flexibility to do absolutely whatever you want and risk that inconsistency building on your website, or if you desire that more refined experience. It's really dependent on what you need in your particular scenario and given your requirements. So of course, the route you choose to go down will impact what that actual process of building and populating your website looks like. But really what it comes down to is developing your website on the platform, whether that's through lifting and shifting its current state, designing whatever the new website needs to look like and building it on HubSpot with an agency, or just having that pre-chosen, predetermined theme for you and populating the pages yourself, bringing your content onto HubSpot and populating there is what you need to actually get those website pages onto HubSpot and bring it to life. One thing that's worth noting is that when you're populating your pages, it's probably preferable to use the content staging area inside of HubSpot, which is HubSpot's website sandbox environment. And that allows you to just test and publish your pages in a safe, secure way that isn't indexed, that allows you to edit and refine them before you're ready for launch. We've got a video on content staging and the experience, which we'll link in the description below. It gives you a complete overview of what's possible inside of content staging and how exactly to use it. If you have a blog that you'd want to migrate to your new HubSpot website, then it's worth noting the couple of ways to do this too, because there are some really cool tools to help you do this quickly. So HubSpot has a few different things here. It's got the WordPress connector. So if your current website is on WordPress and you want to bring that into HubSpot, you can just use the WordPress connector to import it itself. You've got Smart Copy, which will essentially look at the blog RSS feed, pull in the relevant information and the blog content there using kind of the URL lookup into HubSpot, or you can import CSVs or XML files, they're options too. So it removes that burden of the manual population task, which you might need to do in some cases around like imagery and tweaking there to get it into the new theme, the new style, whatever option you chose to go down. But it does remove the burden of the manual kind of copy and pasting of content. So that's worth noting if you've got a blog that you want to bring into HubSpot too. The next step isn't unique to HubSpot, but it's of course crucial, and that's testing. Before you're going to launch a website, you of course need to test that everything works as expected and provides a smooth experience for users. So before launching, make sure that you test all the necessary functionality and pages to find and fix any issues or bugs. And the key things to look at here are functionality, making sure that all the links, buttons, forms, interactive features all work properly across different devices and browsers. Make sure that you check for cross-browser and device compatibility too. So make sure you're testing it on different screen sizes to make sure it's working on all of those too. Check performance too. So actually copy and paste that staging link into Google Page Insight Checker and check loading speed and optimize any of those slow loading elements that you need to. Then just review all of your content for any typos or grammar mistakes. Then have a look at the user experience. Have real users actually navigate through the website and make sure they are the ones identifying any usability problems and get feedback if you can before launch. Now we've got the final stage, which is launch. All the hard work is out of the way. You've prepared your website inside of HubSpot. It's ready to go and you're ready to launch it into the wild. Now, here's what you need to remember for these steps. So if you've done what I recommended and built your pages in content staging, you can publish those staged pages now. This means that they'll be moved out of the content staging area and into the actual website live production area inside of HubSpot. And if your domain was set as ready for publishing, you could have either done that before, which I would strongly recommend, or do it now. This just means that all of your pages inside of HubSpot are now ready to be shown to the world after you change your DNS settings, which I'll touch on in a sec. Because the next point is all around redirection implementation. Most websites will require some form of redirection. If you've changed URLs, you have new pages to point to, you've got existing pages that you've removed, etc. You want to be uploading all of those URLs, import that spreadsheet if you've created it, and add in any redirect domain names if you haven't already to manage the redirection of your website and existing domains that you might have had before. Now, to bring your website into the wild, you need to update those DNS records, which you might be able to do yourself if you have access to your DNS record space, or you might need IT to help you do it. And it's just a case of changing your old DNS records from your existing website platform IP or CNAME record that it had, and implementing your new DNS record, which you can get from the domain space inside of HubSpot. And once those are changed, it will take maybe a little while to propagate, and your new HubSpot website will be live in the wild. Your new domain will be showing your HubSpot content. Now, with all that exciting stuff out the way, obviously we've got one last step, which is important in any website project, and that's the post-launch testing. So once it's live, carry on testing, make sure that all the functionality is still working as expected. Go through all of those tests again that you went through on the pre-launch testing, and just go through it again to make sure that all of your website is working and functioning and looking as expected. And remember, the launch is just the beginning. Ongoing evolution of this website is really important to making it a core marketing asset and work really hard for your business. So there you have it. Hopefully that's provided some insight into actually how to create a website in HubSpot and the steps that you need to go through in order to do it. If you do have any questions and are maybe a little bit unsure if the platform is right for you, then please do reach out to us at Blend. We are a specialist HubSpot website agency and are centered all around creating the best websites on the platform to make the best use of the functionality that's available and drive real business impact for our customers. So if you do need any help with a website on HubSpot, you know where to find us. Links in the description to all of our stuff, or just search for blendb2b.com. But hopefully this video was helpful, and we'll catch you next time. Thanks a lot.